Democrats have outspent Republicans on the airwaves since Harris entered race, but GOP is poised for late push, Bloomberg comments as political ads can't buy the presidency. Sylvester Stallone calls Trump the second George Washington in Mar-a-Lago warm-up speech.
Reportedly, Election Day bomb threats overwhelmingly targeted Democrat-leaning counties. Associated Press comments as the U.S. election was largely trouble-free, but a flood of misinformation raises future concerns. Thousands expected for People's March on Washington ahead of Trump's inauguration.
Zelensky rebuffs Trump's proposal for rapid peace deal in Ukraine war. Putin says, Trump's Ukraine proposals merit attention. Turkey's Erdogan sees easy end to Ukraine war. If Trump takes solution-based approach, Trump mulls Ukraine peace plan, with British troops patrolling an 800 miles buffer zone. Putin is ready to talk to Trump, but his Ukraine demands are unchanged, Kremlin says. China says, former government worker to be executed for spying. Kenya. China hold bilateral talks in Nairobi. As Kenya requests China's support to join BRICS, Chinese group accused of hacking Singtel in telecom attacks. Kremlin says, let's see if Trump victory will help end Ukraine war. Ukraine begins shelling North Korean troops inside Russia. Kiev official says, as Ukrainian troops have engaged with North Korean units for the first time in Russia, Meta is letting the U.S. military use its Llama AI model for national security reasons. 5 days ago, it has been reported as Chinese military researchers reportedly used Meta AI to develop defense chatbot.
After 2 decades, the long-awaited free, open-source Photoshop alternative finally enters release candidate testing. The transition from GIMP 2X to GIMP 3.0 was a monumental undertaking that took 2 decades to complete. Researchers have discovered a remarkable improvement in cooling efficiency by adding ceramic powder to liquid metal thermal paste, resulting in an impressive 72% increase in cooling performance. Pizza Hut has unveiled a groundbreaking pizza warmer that ingeniously utilizes the PlayStation 5's heat to maintain the perfect temperature for pizza.
Putin promises Africa total support in anti-West pitch to continent. China reasserts South China Sea sovereignty amid Philippine boundary laws, as China summons Philippine ambassador over new maritime laws. Northern Gaza at imminent risk of famine, who says. 1 week ago, Israel notifies UN of ending ties with UNRWA, amid warning of famine in Gaza.
Washington Post reports as Trump talked to Putin, told Russian leader not to escalate in Ukraine. Kremlin says reports of Trump and Putin call about Ukraine are pure fiction. Fox News reports as Biden to lobby Trump not to abandon Ukraine during upcoming meeting. Reportedly, large group of Russian and North Korean forces prepared to retake Russia's Kursk region from Ukraine.
Polish Prime Minister intends to meet with French, UK, and NATO leaders to discuss the ongoing conflict in Ukraine. In a recent statement, the Polish Prime Minister indicated that the United States may soon announce a ceasefire date and security guarantees for Ukraine. Additionally, a Trump ally emphasized the importance of achieving peace and stopping the killing in Ukraine. Meanwhile, Russia and Ukraine have been engaged in a record number of drone strikes, with Ukraine launching a significant attack on Moscow using 34 drones, marking the largest strike on the Russian capital.
This request, sources say. Over 18,000 Lebanese citizens enter Iraq amid Israeli onslaught. Hamas urges Arab Islamic Summit in Saudi Arabia to assume responsibility for occupied Jerusalem.
Moderna and Novavax stocks slide after Trump nominates Robert F. Kennedy Jr. to be top health official. Court hears New York Times case against European Commission over vaccine deal. Nearly 2 years ago, New York Times sues EU over von der Leyen's Pfizer texts. 3 years ago, New York Times reported how Europe sealed a Pfizer vaccine deal with texts and calls. One dead after attack on Brazil's Supreme Court, and judge investigating 2023 coup was court bomb target, say Brazilian police, and Brazil authorities link bombing in the capital to extremist discourse.
World Court rules Armenia, Azerbaijan mutual discrimination cases can move forward. Norway apologizes to Sami, Forest Finns and Kvens for forced assimilation policy. U.S. State Department announces that Israel not in violation of U.S. law on humanitarian aid to Gaza.
Entertainment. Shoigu says. Russian Navy warship carrying hypersonic missiles conducts drills in English Channel. State media says. Russia's Medvedev says Europe's leaders are escalating Ukraine conflict after Trump win.
October 7th activation of Hamas SIM cards are at heart of PMO investigations, announces a report. 1 year ago, it has been reported as New York Times investigation reports Israel knew about Hamas October 7th attack plan. 7 months ago, Netanyahu admits knowing of only few Israeli SIM cards activated by Hamas on October 7th, contrary to earlier denial. Reportedly, Israel sees progress in Lebanon ceasefire talks, says Russia can help.
Says EU to implement the initiative to supply Ukraine with 1 million artillery shells by the end of the year.
Interpol disrupts cybercrime activity on 22,000 IP addresses, arrests 41. In the U.S., FBI warns that fake videos using its name, insignia are spreading election misinformation. Alleged snowflake hacker detained in Canada at U.S. Department of Justice's request.
South Korea fines Meta over $15 million for sharing Facebook user data with advertisers. FTC takes action against online cash advance app Dave for deceiving consumers, charging undisclosed fees that consumers can receive up to $500. Netflix under tax fraud investigation as offices in France and Netherlands raided. Washington Post comments that Russia wants the Kursk back before negotiations, but Ukraine is not willing to compromise. Zelensky emphasizes the importance of ensuring that the war ends next year through diplomacy. Meanwhile, a pro-Russia bill has sparked protests in the breakaway region of Georgia, where protesters stormed parliament in the Abkhazia region over the Russia deal.
German Chancellor Scholz urges Putin to end the Ukraine war during their first call in 2 years. Meanwhile, Japan's minister visits Ukraine to express mutual concern over the presence of North Korean troops. Ukrainian President Zelensky believes the war will end sooner with Trump in office, while also accusing German Chancellor Scholz of inadvertently opening a Pandora's box with Putin.
Nearly 90 lawmakers call on Biden to sanction Israeli ultranationalist ministers. Elon Musk met with Iran's UN ambassador, Iranian officials say. In the U.S., Houston man charged with attempting to provide material support to ISIS.
A Pakistani guard wounds 2 Chinese workers in Karachi. Reportedly, forbidden luxury enters Russia from the south. Israeli media comments as 50,000 troops fail to capture a single village in Lebanon.
Huawei is rumored to be poaching TSMC engineers, offering them triple their current salaries in an effort to jumpstart its chip-making endeavors. AstraZeneca's stock price takes a hit as China chief investigated for insurance fraud. Global chocolate confectionery studies forecasts market rise to $118 billion by 2031.
Ireland secures first €3 billion Apple tax payment, boosting exchequer funds. 1 month ago, it has been announced that Apple must pay €13 billion in back taxes, as EU's top court rules. Apple reportedly faces huge fines of up to $5.8 billion, the first fine under EU digital market law. Apple warns investors future products may never be as profitable as iPhone.
The Atlantic comments as, X is a white supremacist site and Musk's Twitter is the blueprint for a MAGA government. Musk tells Rogan that X won't be allowed to exist if Harris wins. Andrew Tate says he's moving back to U.S. as Trump claims election victory. European leaders congratulate Trump as Harris' comeback looks unlikely. France says Europe must take charge of own destiny, as Trump leads U.S. vote.
In the U.S., Sarah McBride becomes the first openly transgender person elected to Congress. Voters sue Musk for fraud over $1 million election sweepstakes. Man arrested at U.S. Capitol with torch, flare gun, Capitol Police say.
Pythagorean theorem found on clay tablet 1,000 years older than Pythagoras. Nike's secret design archive to be made visible to the public for the first time at the Vitra Design Museum. Notre Dame's iconic bells ring again, marking first chime since 2019 fire.
EU considers switching gas supply from Russia to U.S. to stave off tariff war with Trump. Donald Trump asks arch-protectionist Robert Lighthizer to run U.S. trade policy. Chinese national jailed on charges that he tried to enter Trump's Mar-a-Lago estate.
Ukraine to receive $6 billion in U.S. military aid before Trump's term begins. Pentagon confirms. Putin hails courageous Trump after election win as Zelensky rejects ceasefire. Pentagon anticipates major upheaval with Trump's return to White House. Military judge overrules defense secretary and says plea deals for alleged 9/11 conspirators are valid. Federal judge strikes down Biden program offering legal status to undocumented spouses of U.S. citizens. Trump's election win sends private prison stocks soaring as investors anticipate hard crackdown on migration. Trump says there's no price tag for his mass deportation plan. CNN reports as Trump allies, private sector quietly prepare for mass detention of immigrants.
Israeli soccer fans injured in attacks linked to anti-Semitism in Amsterdam. Palestinians will not be allowed to return to homes in northern Gaza, says IDF. Nearly 70% of verified Gaza war dead women and children, UN Rights Office says.
Police foil Jew hunt in Belgium amid fears of copycat attacks, and Antwerp police arrest 5, as fears of a Jew hunt rise following calls to action on social media. FAA grounds all U.S. flights to Haiti after 2 planes were struck by gunfire. Investigators believe Wisconsin kayaker faked his own death before fleeing to Eastern Europe.
Qatari royals fight in UK court over 70-carat Idol's Eye diamond. The Hill reports as a list celebrity endorsements boomerang on Harris, Democrats, and Coment's Latino men just didn't want a woman president. New Zealand's leader formally apologizes to survivors of abuse in state and church care.
New homes and offers zero-interest mortgages to achieve its affordable housing goals. Meanwhile, Russia's gold reserves surpassed $200 billion for the first time. Additionally, a lawsuit alleges that Humpy the Whale, a mascot associated with FTX and Alameda, caused $1 billion in losses.
Dish lenders reject DirecTV debt deal on the eve of the deadline. In a significant development, the UK has approved new cables to Europe, aimed at boosting wind power exports. On a different note, Italian police have successfully dismantled an art forgery ring, resulting in the seizure of over $200 million in counterfeit works by renowned artists such as Banksy and Picasso. In China, the Zhuhai Air Show commenced with orders for Comac and a tantalizing glimpse of a future spaceplane. Meanwhile, Sweden chose Embraer's cargo plane, while Brazil expressed its intention to acquire additional Saab fighters. Notably, Chinese Starlink, a rival to Elon Musk's project, swiftly entered the Brazilian market amidst the ongoing feud between the two tech moguls.
Volkswagen's Audi struggles to find a buyer for its Brussels site. Meanwhile, mainland China's tech giant Baidu applies to conduct autonomous vehicle trials in Hong Kong. Cadillac officially unveils its 3-rows Vistic electric SUV, boasting an impressive range of 300 miles. Canadian minister says, not everyone is welcome amidst Trump's migrant threat. Canada abolishes automatic 10 years multiple entry visas and tightens immigration regulations. Ontario Premier floats U.S. and Canada trade deal without Mexico. As Doug Ford criticizes Mexico as a backdoor for Chinese goods, proposes a Canada-U.S. free trade agreement. Mexico's economy chief suggests possible tariff retaliation against the U.S. The United Kingdom is on the verge of signing a free trade agreement with several Gulf countries, including Saudi Arabia. In parallel, Nigeria is actively seeking a $5 billion trade facility from Saudi Arabia. Notably, the longtime CEO of Innom is accompanying Saudi Arabia as the country scales back its ambitious mega-projects.
86 and GR86 models, powered by their Boxer engines. Additionally, U.S. regulators are investigating potential engine failures in 1.4 million Hondas. Furthermore, Volkswagen has announced a significant investment of $5.8 billion in the EV startup Rivian through a strategic joint venture. China plans to reduce home buying taxes as part of its fiscal stimulus package. Additionally, Chinese firms have received an unexpected boost from the Trump election as merchandise orders have surged. Furthermore, China is on the verge of achieving a record $1 trillion trade surplus as Trump returns to office. On the other hand, the Bank of France has forecasted zero growth in the final months of the year.
Trump deemed hostile to Chagos deal, claims Farage. 1 month ago it had been reported as, U.S. Republicans fear UK Chagos Islands deal will boost China. 2 weeks ago, The Independent reports Farage-inspired bid to persuade Trump to veto Starmer's Chagos Islands deal. Germany's Scholz to request vote of confidence in December. Italy's president sharply rebukes Elon Musk over comments on X about migration court rulings 2 days ago. Albania migrant case judges need to go, says Musk.
Apple unveils AI-powered Final Cut Pro 11, an advanced video editing software that promises to revolutionize the industry. In a bold move to compete with Temu and Shine, Amazon launches its own discount store called Haul. This store offers an impressive range of products at incredibly low prices, with items ranging from $1 earrings to $8 leggings. Meanwhile, IBM unveils its latest quantum chip, boasting a remarkable 156 qubits. This groundbreaking chip promises to be a significant advancement in scientific research, offering a remarkable 50 times faster processing power compared to its predecessor.
Meta is embroiled in an antitrust trial that could potentially lead to the separation of Instagram and WhatsApp. In a separate development, Apple is being sued in the UK for allegedly monopolizing the iCloud market, with the compensation claim amounting to a staggering $3.8 billion. Additionally, a lawsuit filed against TSMC in Arizona sheds light on alleged anti-American workplace practices within the company.
And a fluctuating bond market. In other news, Bloomberg reports that the total market value of all Rolex Submariner watches has surpassed the $50 billion mark. Additionally, CoinGecko reports that the cryptocurrency market capitalization has reached a record high of $3.2 trillion.
China reveals Mach 7 hypersonic weapon design that can deploy missiles, drones. China unveils long-range drone with 22,000 pounds payload power, 575 miles per hour speed. China advances in developing Death Star-like microwave weapon able to destroy satellites.
SEC crypto enforcement slated for major rollback under Trump. JP Morgan renames blockchain platform to Kinexes to add on-chain FX settlement for USD, Euro. Poland puts Crypto.com's operator on warning list. Kamala Harris campaign never paid millions for celebrity endorsements, former advisor insists. Argentina orders arrest of Brazilian Bolsonaro supporters over 2023 coup bid. India's PM Modi leaves for Nigeria, Brazil, and Guyana. Operator of Helix Darknet cryptocurrency mixer, which was highly sought after by online drug dealers sentenced in money laundering conspiracy involving hundreds of millions of dollars. The daughters of Malcolm X sue the CIA, FBI, and NYPD over the civil rights leader's assassination, as Malcolm X's estate alleges DOJ, FBI, CIA, NYPD played role in events leading to assassination. U.S. returns over 1,400 looted artifacts worth $10 million to India.
Jinping opens a large port in Peru, financed by China. Philippine forces conduct rehearsals for seizing islands in the South China Sea. Samsung unveils surprise $7 billion buyback as AI fears persist. Amazon launches fixed pricing for treatment of conditions such as hair loss. Hims & Hers stock drops 24%. Satire publication The Onion buys Alex Jones InfoWars at auction with Sandy Hook family's backing.
Former FTX CTO joins U.S. government to develop a fraud detection tool. Polymarket is under investigation by the Department of Justice for allegedly being used by U.S. traders. South Korean police arrest 215 individuals in connection with a suspected $228 million cryptocurrency scam. Crypto market capitalization reaches a record high of $3.1 trillion, potentially surpassing France's gross domestic product (GDP) in the near future. In a significant development, former Alameda co-CEO Sam Trabucco has agreed to forfeit a substantial amount of $70 million, a luxurious yacht, and several apartments as compensation to FTX creditors. Additionally, an ant-backed credit rating firm has secured approval from the central bank in China after a 3-year wait.
FTX sues Binance, former CEO Zhao seeking $1.8 billion clawback. India's game market could grow from $3.8 billion to $9.2 billion by 2029, as foreseen by Lumakai. Discord terrorist known as Rabbit gets 30 years for preying on kids.
And Skybridge Capital, as FTX is suing Scaramucci to recover the money invested in ostentatious investments. Additionally, the open interest in Polymarket has dropped by 64% following the U.S. presidential election. Furthermore, a report claims that WonderFi CEO was kidnapped and forced to pay a $1 million ransom.
French watchdog probes Polymarket, where trader won big on Trump bet. 2 days ago, it has been reported that Polymarket whale, who bet big on Trump win, raked in $48 million in profits. 10 days ago, it has been reported as on Polymarket, a French trader allegedly placed $45 million on the election of Donald Trump, Detroit to accept crypto for tax payments in bid to spur tech innovation, fuel economic growth. Federal Reserve cuts interest rates by a quarter point.
Harris concedes the election, but vows to not stop fighting for a better future. Axios comment says, Democrats start clawing each other's eyes out. You people suck. Bannon vows DOJ and FBI will pay the price when Trump retakes office. RFK Jr. says entire departments at FDA have to go, and we're not going to take vaccines away from anybody. Liz Cheney says, guardrails of democracy must keep Trump in check.
Corning faces EU antitrust scrutiny over Gorilla Glass deals with phone makers. United States renews calls for Italy to scrap its web tax, sources say. Saudis plan $100 billion AI powerhouse to rival UAE tech hub. 42.3 million viewers watched presidential election night coverage. Reportedly, election night ratings for Trump's White House return fall 25% from 2020, and YouTube viewers guzzled 84 million hours of presidential election day news. Jeff Bezos, Sam Altman, Tim Cook, and other tech leaders congratulate Trump on election win. Thousands of election gamblers anticipate betting jackpot after Trump win. Musk asked Trump to name SpaceX execs to top government jobs.
Trump declares unprecedented mandate. After winning presidency for second time, Sweden scraps plans for 13 offshore wind farms over Russia security fears. Russia, China, emerging axis troubling, says Australia intelligence chief.
18 states sue SEC, Gensler, commissioners in historic crypto regulation battle. Ilya Lichtenstein, the Bitfinex hacker, was sentenced to prison for participating in a money laundering conspiracy involving billions of dollars. This conviction resulted from the theft of approximately 120,000 Bitcoin through a hack and subsequent theft of stolen cryptocurrency. Trump's victory is expected to break the impasse in the filing of exotic U.S. crypto ETFs.
Europe cannot finance Ukraine war if Trump pulls U.S. out of the conflict, Hungary's Orban warns. Venezuela's Maduro hails new beginning with U.S. after Trump victory. Nigeria Human Rights Commission clears military of alleged 10,000 illegal abortions in Northeast.
Trump sets GOP record with Latino voters, poll says. Racist text messages target young African Americans post-election. America Ferrera joins growing list of stars, moving to the UK, before Trump returns as president. Business Insider comments as, Democrats wish the election was about jobs. Trump's win showed it was about prices. Axios comments as, Harris, Biden camps blame each other for loss.
China announces $1.4 trillion package over 5 years to tackle local government's hidden debt. Powell says he won't step down as Fed chair if asked by Trump. Reportedly, Robinhood attorney, Republican regulators being considered for Trump financial agency's shortlist. CNN comments as the world's 10 richest people got a record $64 billion richer from Trump's reelection. Wall Street gets M&A reboot with Trump, set to undo Con era.
Trump names Susie Wiles as first female White House chief of staff in history. Politico comments as, Florida woman takes job as White House chief of staff. Axios comments as, behind the curtain, Washington's open for business. The Philadelphia Inquirer comments as, after 248 years, America prepares for life under a king. LGBT voters, a larger share of the electorate than ever, shift away from Trump. Trump makes massive gains with Hispanics nationwide and black voters in swing states, as per exit polls. Reportedly, Harris' campaign rejected Black Caucus $10 million outreach proposal to undecided black voters. New York Times comments as, after Trump took the lead, election deniers went suddenly silent.
Washington Post comments that AI didn't sway the election but rather deepen the partisan divide. The Hill comments that deepfakes didn't disrupt the election but rather altered our perception of reality. CNN must confront Project Veritas defamation lawsuit as a U.S. appeals court rules in favor of Project Veritas. 2 years ago, Project Veritas lost its defamation lawsuit against CNN for portraying Twitter spam as part of a misinformation crackdown. 3 years ago, CNN faced a lawsuit from Project Veritas regarding its comments about Twitter's suspension. Additionally, 2 individuals pleaded guilty to stealing and selling Ashley Biden's belongings to Project Veritas. Following Trump's win, Hollywood prepares for mega mergers and volatility.
Pentagon officials anxious Trump may fire the military's top general. CNN reports that Pentagon officials discussing how to respond if Trump issues controversial orders. Washington Times reports as FBI brass stunned and shell-shocked over Trump re-election. Project 2025 Chiefs book urges burning of FBI. New York Times and Boy Scouts.
Democratic strategists say their warnings about having Harris campaign with Liz Cheney were ignored. Pelosi blames Harris's loss on Biden's late exit and no open Democratic primary. Mississippi Senate paid black attorney less than white ones, U.S. Justice Department says.
RFK Jr. reviewing resumes for top Trump health jobs. Sources say Trump put Musk on phone with Zelensky during call. Jared Kushner rules out joining next Trump administration.
China has increased military flights near Taiwan by 300%, U.S. general says. Biden administration to allow American military contractors to deploy to Ukraine for first time since Russia's invasion. Reportedly, Elon Musk joins Trump's call with Ukraine's Zelensky. In the U.S. Justice Department announces murder for hire and related charges against IRGC asset and 2 local operatives. Iranian asset shakery was tasked by Iranian regime with surveilling and plotting to assassinate President-elect Donald J. Trump, also to surveil and murder a U.S. citizen of Iranian origin who has publicly opposed the Iranian government.
NBC reports as FBI Director Christopher Wray is preparing for a possible forced exit under Trump. Decision Desk HQ projects Republicans will retain U.S. House majority. Elon Musk's PAC spent an estimated $200 million to help elect Trump, AP source says.
Brazil becomes second BRICS country after India not to join China's BRI. The Singles' Day shopping festival loses its shine under China's lagging economy 3 days ago, Bloomberg commented as, China unveils $1.4 trillion debt swap, saves stimulus for Trump. Paris to deploy 4,000 police for France versus Israel match, following Amsterdam violence.
In the U.S., Supreme Court Justice Sonia Sotomayor to remain at post as some call for her to step down. New York Times comments as unions bet big on Harris, now they're bracing for consequences. Netanyahu says he and Trump see eye to eye on Iran after holding 3 calls within days.
In the U.S., House fast-tracks bill that would give Trump power to target nonprofits. Trump declares Senate majority candidates should allow him to make recess appointments, as Trump tells GOP to bypass Senate confirmation process, block Biden judicial appointments. Ramaswamy says top priority for Trump is uniting the country.
They sweeps all 7 swing states. President-elect Trump's 2024 popular vote count officially surpasses 2020 election numbers. Observer comments as Donald Trump embodies a collective madness in America. White Stripes dropped lawsuit against Trump over 7-nation army. Left-wing conspiracy theorists claim Elon Musk used satellites to steal U.S. election, as Blue Anon conspiracy theories explode, where liberals confront another Trump term. Reportedly, South Korean president takes up golf again to forge a bond with Trump. Germany sets early election date for February, after collapse of the ruling coalition. Judge delays decision on tossing Trump's hush money conviction. In a recent announcement, India's External Affairs Minister, Jaishankar, stated that India is on track to achieve a $100 billion trade surplus with Russia well before the previously set target of 2030.
Apple is embroiled in a legal battle with a Chinese developer, echoing the Fortnite case. Meanwhile, Amazon is reportedly developing driver eyeglasses to reduce delivery times. Additionally, China's Baidu is joining Meta in the race to create AI-powered smart glasses.
Smotrich says, Trump's victory an opportunity to apply sovereignty in the West Bank. Former Trump aides warn Israeli ministers not to assume he'll back annexation in second term. Saudi Crown Prince says Israel committing genocide in Gaza. Thai government warns of possible attack on Israelis at Kofang and Full Moon Party.
Taiwan considers big U.S. defense purchases as overture to Donald Trump. New York Times reports as Trump plans series of executive orders for day one. Susie Wiles tells donors. The Hill reports as Trump has big plans for day one on immigration, energy and more. Trump borders R says administration will conduct workplace immigration raids. U.S. may support global surveillance treaty hated by everyone but authoritarian governments.
Sarah Palin and New York Times have explored settlement as judge sets defamation retrial. Advertisers set to return to X as they seek favor with Elon Musk and Donald Trump. Trump names Elon Musk to lead government efficiency drive. Trump expected to try to halt TikTok ban, allies say.
Robert F. Kennedy Jr. reveals plans to fire 600 federal health workers. Melania Trump declines to meet with Jill Biden at White House, citing Mar-a-Lago raid, claims a source. Former top NC political donor Lindbergh pleads guilty in $2 billion fraud. Huawei developing SSD tape hybrid amid U.S. tech restrictions. As Huawei develops massive 72 terabytes SSD tape hybrid storage device, first-generation MedDrive targets warm and cold storage. Britain to revive nuclear fuel production for defense. Denmark signs contracts to purchase $629 million worth of Ukrainian-made weapons for the Ukrainian troops.
Create board to purge generals, and Trump says he will nominate anti-woke Fox News host Pete Hegseth for defense secretary. Incoming Trump admin is eyeing new immigrant detention centers near major U.S. cities. Lighthizer and his allies lay groundwork for Trump's massive new tariffs.
Louisiana law requiring the Ten Commandments in schools is unconstitutional. Judge rules. Harriet Tubman honored for her military service on Veterans Day nearly 160 years later. Abu Ghraib detainees awarded $42 million. Jury holds military contractor responsible for contributing to torture.
NBC comments as clashes, confusion and secrecy consumed the Harris campaign's finances. New York Times comments as viewers flee MSNBC and flock to Fox News in wake of election. Fox News comments with no Trump bump. MSNBC hemorrhaging viewers since Election Day, sheds more than half of primetime audience. Trump threatens New York Times, Penguin Random House over critical coverage. 2 weeks ago, Trump sues CBS for $10 billion alleging its editing of Harris' interview is election interference. Amazon was questioned by a House China committee over dangerous and unwise TikTok partnership. Google will stop serving political advertising in the EU ahead of new regulation in October 2025. First draft of the General-Purpose AI Code of Practice published, written by independent experts for European Commission, which will be discussed with around 1,000 stakeholders. Biden finalizes a $6.6 billion grant to TSMC before Trump returns. Washington Times reports that Trump expected to criticize Biden's AI agenda and pledged to eliminate Biden's AI regulations. OpenAI is anticipating a significant infusion of funding. Additionally, U.S. regulators are planning to investigate Microsoft's cloud business.
Trump picks Matt Gaetz for Attorney General. Tulsi Gabbard for Director of National Intelligence. Matt Gaetz just resigned from Congress, ending a probe into sexual misconduct and drug use. FT reports as Kamala Harris dished Joe Rogan podcast interview over progressive backlash fears. LA Times owner says Harris's stance on Gaza war contributed to non-endorsement. Plans editorial board revamp.
He didn't accept a personal fee for hosting the Harris event. Boris Johnson cautioned Trump's advisors, who are enthusiastic about Putin, to refrain from whispering absolute nonsense into his ear. The former UK Prime Minister also expressed concern about the Republican Party's homosexual fascination with Vladimir Putin. In the US, the Department of Defense has completed its 7th consecutive department-wide financial statement audit. The auditors have discovered that the Pentagon's books lack the necessary financial data to account for spending for the 7th consecutive year. On a different note, Elon Musk's Department of Government Efficiency is seeking high IQ revolutionaries willing to work 80 hours a week for free. The New Republic warns that Trump's new oligarchy is about to unleash unimaginable corruption.
Trump's team skips FBI background checks for some cabinet picks. Ocasio-Cortez comments as Gabbard nomination is a pro-war nomination globally. Salon comments as Trump trolls GOP with cabinet picks. The point is to bring Republicans to heel, but it may backfire. New York Times comments as Trump takes on the pillars of the deep state.
BSA sends tech policy recommendations to Trump transition on AI innovation to ensure U.S. leadership, promoting government use of technology, reforming cybersecurity regulations to avoid overlap and making new deals with global partners. Silicon Valley investors Mark Andreessen and Ben Horowitz celebrate Trump's win as a boot off the throat. Reuters reports that Trump's transition team aims to kill Biden EV tax credit.
Trump expected to shake up White House briefing room. Editor-in-chief of Scientific American resigns following expletive-filled rant against Trump voters. Meta fined €798 million by EU in antitrust case over ads. NATO jets scrambled after Russian planes seen off Norway and over Baltic Sea, not adhering to international norms. Donald Trump pledges to end Russia-Ukraine war. Focus on West Asia peace. Ukraine can't trademark Russian warship. Go F***K yourself. EU court rules.
Democrats have outspent Republicans on the airwaves since Harris entered race, but GOP is poised for late push. Bloomberg comments as political ads can't buy the presidency. Sylvester Stallone calls Trump the second George Washington in Mar-a-Lago warm-up speech. Reportedly, U.S. Muslims who back Trump upset by his pro-Israel nominees.
Reuters announces that the U.S. bank regulation under Trump is in doubt, while digital assets rise and consumer setbacks are expected. Bloomberg advises readers to pay close attention to their credit card balances under Trump 2.0. CNBC warns that Trump 2.0 could be detrimental to global inflation, according to analysts. Politico comments that the Biden economy is about to receive a new salesman in the form of Donald Trump. She warns against going back in history as Trump tariffs loom, and China is prepared to retaliate if Donald Trump increases tariffs, according to a former PBOC official.
Israel reportedly destroyed an active nuclear weapons research facility in Iran, according to officials. The Wall Street Journal reported that Iran had informed the United States that it would not attempt to harm former President Donald Trump. Additionally, Apple has removed the US-funded Radio Free Europe app from Russia. Elon Musk's AI has turned against him, labeling him as one of the most significant spreaders of misinformation on X. Meanwhile, the owner of LA Times is reportedly seeking recruits similar to Scott Jennings to balance the publication's political leanings. Additionally, Vanity Fair has reported that MAGA influencers are actively pursuing top jobs in Trump's White House. Following Trump's election, some influencers have openly expressed their support for him.
Scholars conclude Beowulf likely the work of single author. Carbon dating reveals the history of Zero is older than previously thought. Mysterious and indecipherable 600-years-old Voynich manuscript may be partly about sex and women's secrets. Studies claim rapamycin as the only drug that has been consistently demonstrated to increase mammalian longevity. Plants emit informative airborne sounds under stress. LED device treats leading cause of vision loss with light therapy, FDA says.
Origins of world's earliest writing point to symbols on seals, used in Mesopotamian trade. Earth's sixth mass extinction is underway and rapidly accelerating, study warns. SpaceX plans to send 5 uncrewed starships to Mars in 2 years, Musk says. Marmosets use specific names for one another, study finds. Missing link found in ancient rocks of Colorado show that Snowball Earth really happened. Global CO2 emissions to hit record high in 2024, report says. Extraordinary. Burial of ancient Egyptian governor's daughter discovered in a coffin within another coffin. Plastic-eating mealworms native to Africa have been discovered. Additionally, a glowing mystery mollusk has been found in the ocean's midnight zone. Furthermore, exposure to constant artificial light disrupts honeybee sleep patterns and alters their sleep rhythms.
Was recently discovered to be 4,000 years older. Mauna Loa, the world's largest active volcano, exhibited warning signs before erupting in 2022. Pangea Ultima, the next supercontinent, may lead to the extinction of mammals in the far future.
Climate change might be forcing Japanese sardines into the United States exclusive economic zone. As these sardines may be indicating significant changes in the ocean, chimpanzees demonstrated improved performance on complex tasks when they were being observed. A study claims that the Triassic period concluded with a lost mass extinction and a million-year rainstorm, as a volcanic eruption triggered a rainy period that made Earth's climate suitable for dinosaurs. Cells beyond the brain demonstrate remarkable memory capabilities. Humans lacking the sense of smell exhibit distinct breathing patterns. Men and women may require diverse breakfasts for weight loss.
Ryan Reynolds says, Marvel is obsessed with Channing Tatum's gambit after Deadpool and Wolverine. Ray Gunn retires from competitive breakdancing after Paris Olympics backlash. New Star Wars movie trilogy in the works from X-Men veteran Simon Kinberg.
Roblox is banning kids from social hangout spaces. Australia proposes world-leading ban on social media for children under 16. Canada orders shutdown of TikTok's Canadian business. App access to continue.
Heretic directors used end credits to warn Hollywood about AI, with "Let's bury it underground with nuclear warheads, 'cause it might kill us all." Heretic directors say A24 supported their anti-generative AI position. Ryan Reynolds writing a non-Marvel project to reunite with Hugh Jackman and director Sean Levy after Deadpool and Wolverine. Mozilla is eliminating its advocacy division, which fought for a free and open web. Italy puts IEA and Lufthansa deal on hold. Due to price dispute, sources say. UMG sues Believe and TuneCore for $500 million, alleging industrial-scale copyright infringement. France's Believe denies copyright allegation in $500 million claim by UMG. Warhol prints stolen and damaged in a botched heist in the Netherlands.
Dinosaurs in Alps, as ecosystem that predates the dinosaurs uncovered in the Alps by melting snow, storms, floods, landslides associated with intimate partner violence against women 2 years later.
The Blair Witch Project, finally released in the format its filmmakers intended, is a significant milestone. Denzel Washington announces his final role before retirement in Black Panther 3. Lena Dunham is set to write a movie about Sam Bankman-Fried for Apple.
My Chemical Romance has announced their highly anticipated 2025 The Black Parade Stadium Tour. In other exciting news, car enthusiasts can now own a Batmobile for a cool $3 million. Additionally, YouTube is testing a new feature that allows select creators to remix songs using AI.
Are set to star in Christopher Nolan's upcoming film. Meanwhile, Ice Age 6 is in production, featuring Ray Romano and Queen Latifah's return. On the other hand, Joker 2 star Tim Dillon claims that the movie is the worst film ever made, asserting that it lacks a plot.
In Grammy nominations 2025, Beyoncé leads with 11 nods as Taylor Swift, Chappell Roan, Sabrina Carpenter, and Charli XCX are among top nominees. Star Wars fans roll eyes as Disney plans another trilogy, bringing unreleased films up to 14. Crypto businessman killed in apparent assassination at Sao Paulo airport.
Kylian Mbappé left out of France squad after Didier Deschamps' snub. Sotheby's to stage first live auction in Saudi Arabia in February 2025. Historic Banksy collection from Steve Lazarides to be auctioned at Julien's.
Jamie Foxx and Cameron Diaz are thrust into spy work in the trailer for Netflix's Back in Action. Meanwhile, Jake Paul emerges victorious in a highly anticipated fight against Mike Tyson, and the Netflix Rumble proves to be an intense and grueling 8-round battle. Additionally, fans of the iconic group Boyz II Men can anticipate the release of both a movie biopic and a documentary that delves into their remarkable journey and music legacy. Under Paris 2, Netflix developing sequel to French shark movie with Bérénice Bejo returning.
Spotify's plans for AI-generated music, podcasts, and recommendations, according to its co-president, CTO, and CPO Gustav Soderstrom. YouTube prepares to launch Jewel's live stream gifting process. It has been commented as YouTube Jewels look like they were ripped straight out of the Reddit Gold playbook. The Wall Street Journal is testing AI article summaries. Björk collaborated with an AI to create an unsettling soundtrack for a hotel lobby. Björk announces immersive auditory experience in Paris to raise awareness about the environment. Mark Zuckerberg collaborated with T-Pain on a remix of Get Low, and there are reports that Mark Zuckerberg serenaded wife with a painful rap remix. German music rights group Gemma is suing OpenAI for unlicensed song lyrics in ChatGPT.
Workforce by 4% to prioritize AI chip development. The demand for liquid cooling is expected to increase as NVIDIA prepares to launch its next-generation AI chips. Ruby slippers from the Wizard of Oz, stolen by a former mobster, are being auctioned for $800,000. Meanwhile, Now and Then, the Beatles' last song, enhanced with AI, has secured 2 Grammy nominations. French news titles are suing X for allegedly using their content without compensation.
Michael Novogratz Galaxy looks to AI computing as Bitcoin mining revenue falls. AMD's desktop CPU share soars 10 percentage points in a year. Intel slapped with class action lawsuit for Raptor Lake CPU instability issues. Chipmaker accused of consciously selling defective chips. TSMC to close door on producing advanced AI chips for China from Monday, November 11, 2024. U.S. Consumer Protection Agency bans employee mobile calls amid Chinese hack fears. Hackers demand Francis Schneider Electric pay a $125,000 ransom in baguettes. Hacker says they banned thousands of Call of Duty gamers by abusing anti-cheat flaw. 20 days ago, it has been reported as Call of Duty anti-cheat bug. Let hackers ban people with a direct message. Over 200 days after its official closure, the last user of Nintendo Network's online servers finally disconnected after a 3DS system crash. Steam's built-in game recording is now available to all. Amazon launches Clinic Medical Consultation Service in India.
Amazon gets FAA approval for new delivery drone as it begins tests in Arizona. In Japan, Rakuten launches Rakuten Unmanned Delivery, a product delivery service for retailers and restaurants using automated delivery robots in the Harumi area of Tokyo. World's first wooden satellite built in Japan launched to space.
Sega has delisted over 60 classic games from virtual stores, including Jet Set Radio and Crazy Taxi. Visitors to London's National Portrait Gallery will be serenaded by a 6-hour version of Champagne Supernova. UFC will unveil new gloves designed to reduce eye pokes. Reuters reports that the U.S. has ordered TSMC to halt shipments of chips used in AI applications to China. 2 days ago, it was reported that TSMC would close its doors on producing advanced AI chips for China within a week. Taiwan's chip output is expected to reach a record high of $165 billion due to the high demand for AI chips. Taiwan's environment minister has committed to achieving net zero emissions despite the opposition of Trump. Tragically, at least one person has lost their life in Taiwan as Super Typhoon Kong-ray makes landfall.
Google Vid's AI-powered video creation tool rolling out to select workspace users. Amazon targets delivery operations in bid for bigger grocery business. Speculates as iPhone 18 Pro to feature upgraded main camera with variable aperture. Tencent and Visa roll out Palm payment trial in Singapore.
Bitcoin fog operator sentenced for money laundering conspiracy, as operator of notorious darknet cryptocurrency Mixer laundered $400 million in cryptocurrency since 2011. FBI says hackers are sending fraudulent police data requests to tech giants to steal people's private information. U.S. judge tosses Illinois' ban on semi-automatic weapons. Governor pledges swift appeal.
Taiwan and U.S. semiconductor cooperation unlikely to change after election, said by Taiwan Semiconductor Industry Association. As Taiwan must improve chip tech to stay ahead, Cliff Ho says, TSMC cannot make 2 nanometers chips abroad now, says Minister of Economic Affairs J.W. Kwa. Baidu readies AI smart glasses to rival Meta's Ray-Bans. NVIDIA to cap game streaming hours on GeForce Now instead of raising fees. Google asked to remove 10 billion pirate search results. Cops suspect iOS 18 iPhones are communicating to force reboots, making unlocking harder.
Apple is reportedly planning to release its own smart home camera with AI features in 2026. Additionally, Apple has been instructed by the European Union to cease geoblocking services like the App Store. Furthermore, Apple has collaborated with major airlines like Delta and United to utilize AirTags and Find My technology for luggage tracking.
Ecosia and Quint, two European search engines, collaborate to create an index that aims to reduce the reliance on big tech. In a separate development, Facebook and Instagram are offering a subscription service in Europe that provides users with the option to access their platforms without ads. Additionally, Alphabet's Waymo has successfully launched robotaxi rides in Los Angeles, following the successful implementation in San Francisco. The company has expressed its intention to expand its services to more cities in the future. Donkey Kong Country revealed, coming to Super Nintendo World Japan in 2024. Ubisoft sued for shutting down the crew. Microsoft is planning to phase out Windows 11's mail and calendar apps by the end of this year.
In a significant security breach, a hacker has leaked employee data from various prominent companies, including Amazon, McDonald's, HSBC, HP, and potentially over 1,000 other organizations. Nokia has confirmed that the leaked data includes third-party code, but their own data remains safe. The DDoS site DStat CC has been seized, and 2 suspects have been apprehended in Germany.
To launch between fall 2025 and spring 2026, Mark Gurman suggests that Apple's future hinges on smaller bets rather than the next big thing. In other news, Intel promises fixes for Arrow Lake that will lead to significant performance gains. Additionally, Najima is set to acquire Veo for 11.2 billion yen.
Samsung XR glasses have Ray-Ban Meta specs with more features, seemingly no display. Xiaomi smart glasses in the works, expected release set for Q2 2025. Razer says its new AI tool analyzes in minutes how products impact the planet, as Razer, a big vendor of gaming gear, makes an unexpected new pitch with selling AI tech to businesses.
X sues to block California law targeting election-related deepfakes on social media. RSF, Reporters Without Borders presses criminal charges against X, formerly Twitter, for its participation in identity theft and spreading disinformation. Elon Musk accuses Microsoft and xAI of involvement in a lawsuit against OpenAI.
Project aimed at developing a fertility tracker. Google conducts a limited-scale test by withdrawing news content from European publishers. The Guardian terminates its association with the X social media platform, citing instances of racism and the spread of conspiracy theories.
Klarna prepares for U.S. initial public offering, valuation recovering from decline. Comac announces Air China as the initial customer for the C929 widebody jet. In the U.S., millions of job seekers face potential risks due to the leakage of private data by a recruitment firm. Square Enix apologizes for the mishap in the hairstyle competition winner's submission for Final Fantasy XIV, which was due to technical limitations such as the polygon count. Fall Guys is launching on mobile devices via the Epic Games Store. Amazon is discontinuing Freevee, its ad-supported video streaming service.
OpenAI acquired Chat.com. AI chatbot launches on gov.uk to help business users, with mixed results. New York Times demands OpenAI admit which articles it used in AI training.
Qualcomm. ARM results show phone industry making uneven comeback. TSMC and GlobalFoundries finish talks over CHIPS Act awards. GlobalWafers expects CHIPS Act to continue in Trump administration. CNBC reports that Trump likely to uphold CHIPS Act despite his campaign rhetoric, experts say. AI's huge power needs give oil majors incentive to invest in renewables, says ADNOC, Abu Dhabi National Oil Company's boss. AI workers seek whistleblower cover to expose emerging threats. AMD overtakes Intel in quarterly data center revenue for the first time, EPYC CPUs and Instinct AI accelerators showing their dominance.
Due to the curse of 35. In Hong Kong, Chinese cardinal calls for sinicization of church in China. In the US, T-Mobile hacked in massive Chinese breach of telecom networks.
Blue Sky asserts that it won't train AI on user-generated content. As Blue Sky gains traction, Threads commences testing custom feeds. Valuations of Elon Musk's SpaceX and xAI are poised to experience significant growth in upcoming deals.
AI groups are rapidly redesigning model testing and creating new benchmarks as the pace of GPT AI improvement slows down. Notably, OpenAI is adjusting its strategy. Additionally, Chegg is reportedly facing significant challenges, with its stock plummeting by 99% following the launch of ChatGPT. Furthermore, the AI revolution is transforming data centers into the new building boom in America.
ChatGPT told 2M people to get their election news elsewhere and rejected 250K deepfakes. Bloomberg comments as, Trump's cyber policy likely to focus on China, relaxing regulation. TikTok awaits lifeline from President-elect Trump, who once favored ban.
OpenAI's data scraping wins big, as raw story copyright lawsuit dismissed by New York court. Anthropic and Palantir partner to bring Claude AI models to AWS for U.S. government intelligence and defense operations. Reportedly, Amazon discussing new multi-billion-dollar investment in Anthropic. AI may displace 3M jobs, but long-term losses relatively modest, says Tony Blair's think tank.
Microsoft introduces AI-powered features to Windows 11 Paint and Notepad. Mistral AI takes on OpenAI with new moderation API, tackling harmful content in 11 languages. The Washington Post launches Ask the Post AI, a new search experience.
News organizations are forced to accept Google AI crawlers, says Financial Times policy chief. JP Morgan reportedly unveils IndexGPT AI tool. Microsoft adds new AI tool in Notepad to rewrite and refine your text with.
In Web Summit, chess grandmaster Hans Niemann will face global opponents who have been advised by artificial intelligence. Additionally, Anthropic teams up with the U.S. Energy Department to conduct red teaming exercises, aiming to prevent AI nuclear leaks. Furthermore, NVIDIA's Blackwell architecture significantly enhances the training performance of large language models in the MLPerf training version 4.1 benchmark.
In the U.S. Homeland Security Department unveils a framework for harnessing AI in critical infrastructure. Microsoft and NASA collaborate to develop an AI tool that democratizes access to satellite data. Getty Images introduces a suite of premium creative content for TikTok advertisers.
NVIDIA Jetson Thor computers for robots will launch in 2025. OpenAI says U.S. allies should partner on AI to take on China. OpenAI, Google, and Anthropic hit the critical knowledge cap for advanced AI training, as OpenAI, Google, and Anthropic are struggling to build more advanced AI.
Basilica. Google DeepMind made AlphaFold 3 open source, revolutionizing drug discovery and molecular biology. SoftBank will be the first to receive NVIDIA's Blackwell chips for constructing a supercomputer.
Analysis of 50,000 peer-reviewed computer science papers reveals that 7 to 17% were AI-generated. An AI robot's portrait of Alan Turing, which challenges what it is to be human, set a record and sold for $1.08 million. A study suggests that despite its impressive output, generative AI lacks a coherent understanding of the world. Boosting exercise intensity reduces mortality risk, study suggests. Morning coffee could be quietly causing hearing loss, study reveals. Jobs with work from home options have better stock returns, new study reveals.
MIT develops tiny devices to monitor and heal individual cells, restoring lost brain functions. Superbacteria's double defense against antibiotics is discovered. Mysterious circular DNA found in more than half of patients with certain types of cancer.
New water bear. Tardigrade species can endure radiation levels 1,000 times higher than humans. UK confirms 2 cases of new monkeypox strain in Europe's first household transmissions. WHO reports that tuberculosis resurges as top infectious disease killer.
Altman, Ilya Sutskever, and Greg Brockman negotiated the structure of OpenAI. New OpenAI emails expose a long history of mistrust. The Guardian comments that AI isn't about unleashing our imaginations, it's about outsourcing them for profit. A study suggests that AI models work faster when they communicate in their own language.
In the UK, telecom operator O2 introduces Daisy, an AI-powered granny designed to waste scammers' time. Additionally, AI-generated poetry has gained popularity, surpassing human-written poetry in terms of favorability. Furthermore, a live scam detection feature is being rolled out to the Pixel 6 phone app.
Bloomberg comments as, Trump plans to dismantle Biden's climate law. It won't be easy. In the U.S., former energy regulator says he offered Trump team plan to cut his old agency. Bloomberg reports that Biden rushing study that threatens to slow Trump's LNG plans. Astronomers call for pause on SpaceX Starlink launches.
With We Have a New Star, Elon Musk takes center stage during Donald Trump's victory speech. James Webb Telescope spots feasting black hole eating 40 times faster than should be possible. Windows Server 2025 accidentally auto-installed due to third-party tool and API error.
Pakistan's Punjab declares a health emergency and imposes lockdown measures due to a surge in toxic smog and air pollution. Additionally, 22 pesticides have been linked to prostate cancer. Furthermore, a former WHO chief scientist announces that over 80% of Indians are exposed to climate-related health risks. Lastly, Brazil intends to adopt complete beef traceability by 2032 in response to pressure from China and the EU.
A recent study reveals that an alarming 81% of cancer cures touted in TikTok videos are nothing but false claims. Additionally, the Pan-American Health Organization, PAHO, has confirmed Brazil's status as a measles-free country, following a thorough re-verification process. Furthermore, a multi-drug-resistant strain of Klebsiella pneumoniae has been detected in the northeast region of Brazil, raising concerns about the emergence of drug-resistant bacteria.
Russia lawmakers pass bill banning child-free propaganda. China's first marriages grow for first time in a decade due to COVID backlog. Justin Welby to quit as Archbishop of Canterbury over handling of abuse scandal. AI-powered Minecraft runs without a game engine, rendering the game in real time at a continuous 20 frames per second. Descartes' AI simulates a playable version of Minecraft that is both real-time and accessible. Additionally, former military officials have revealed that the United States has secretly recovered alien technology. Furthermore, the U.S. Navy's Virginia-class submarine was reportedly apprehended by a Norwegian fisherman. 43 monkeys remain on the run from South Carolina lab. CEO thinks they're having an adventure. Number of dead seals along Caspian coast rises to 850. 100,000 Chinese students join 50 kilometers nighttime bike ride in search of good soup dumplings.
Packaging that mistakenly linked to an adult pornographic website. A scientist successfully treated her own cancer using viruses she had grown in her laboratory. Intel is attempting to boost employee morale by reinstating free coffee for its workers. Pope Francis inadvertently displays his support for the New Orleans Saints. Crows are known to hold grudges against individual humans for an astonishing 17 years. A remarkable skeleton, crafted from the bones of